Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. It's hard to believe, but there's actually only a few weeks of Torah readings left for the year. And I want to thank each of you who took this journey with me. For some, it was their first or second time. For others, too many times to count. But for each of you, thank you. And I hope you enjoyed it and got something new and different from it. When we finish this book, we begin it again. There are endings in life, and these are some of them, that bring new beginnings. And of course, we're only a few weeks away from the annual new beginning, Rosh Hashanah, which means head of the year. We tend to call it New Year's. We say Shana Tova, a phrase that means good year, not Happy New Year. Well, it's not really the Bible New Year's. It's kind of a hybrid type of a new year. It does wish a good year, but not really in a physical year sense, no. It's in the sense of the spiritual year. You get to reset your soul. You get 2 opportunities a year to set your intentions. And this is the reset button. It is a new year because it ushers in the ability to have a new year for you, for your soul, a new time. It's all about the new you. It sets off the 10-day period known as the Days of Awe. So it's not the type of celebration we're used to when we talk about New Year's. Now, there's a phrase that's used during this period between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, 10 days, and that is Kativa v'chatima tova, and it's a phrase that means a good inscription and sealing. On Rosh Hashanah, 3 books are opened. The book of the righteous, the book of the evil, and the book of the intermediate. 2 are pretty obvious. Your name is inscribed in one of these books. And you look at that mirror of self during these 10 days, you contemplate your life, your status, your standing. And on Yom Kippur, it's sealed. You have the 10 days before it's sealed to take any steps you need to take. And in the blink of an eye, you can move mountains. This is the period of time when you forgive those you need to forgive and ask forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. And as we get closer, we'll talk more about it. Now, you haven't read about Rosh Hashanah per se in the Bible because it's not referred to as Rosh Hashanah. Its biblical name is Yom Teruah, a day of blasting, horn blasting, the horn, of course, being the shofar. So why is this holiday with no real name? And it is the only holiday in the Bible that has no name, just a date, and no purpose. You're just told you don't work. All we know is it's to be held on a specific day. And that day is the first day of the 7th month. Now, that's the month of Tishrei, which is the sign of Libra, the 7th month of the astrological year that began in Nisan, the sign of Aries. In Hebrew, Libra is Moznaim. That means scale. In ancient times, the scale was used by putting objects to be weighed on one side and stones and units of measurement on the other. In modern times, we use digital scales, and so the visual effect of the traditional scale has kind of been lost. But the idea of the scale is so that you can obtain balance. Just look at the symbol for Libra. It's justice. Now, in Rosh Hashanah, this metaphysical action takes place when all our actions are being weighed. The good deeds, the bad deeds. The scales are examined according to how the scale tips. The decision is made. Who will live? Who will die? Who will be rich? Who will be poor? Liturgy that's so wonderfully set to music by the great Leonard Cohen. And who by fire? Who by water? Who in the sunshine? Who in the night time? Who by high ordeal? Who by common trial? In just a few weeks, that begins, and we begin the 10 days of self-examination. It's a time of reflection, of introspection. It's a time to take stock and do a course correction if necessary. And you can begin thinking about it now. You don't have to wait for the 3 weeks to be up. And of course, the holiday takes place during Jewish American Heritage Month. People are now arguing over whether the Israeli flag with the Star of David is about religion or politics. The Israeli flag has become a flashpoint, and it's raised several questions. Is targeting it a legitimate form of protest, or is it anti-Semitic? What do you do about the Jewish star on the flag? Is it a symbol of identity? Does it matter if the flag is at a protest or at a synagogue? Whoever thought these would be real questions? I never did. But reality, of course, these days speaks differently. The Jewish population is like 1% of the people, and it's accounting for over 70% of all religious motivated hate crime. How can Jews feel safe or heard or protected anymore? There's been growing fear, uneasiness, and anxiety amongst much of the North American Jewish population, European one too. People once proud to show their Judaism are now beginning to hide it. What will happen in a few weeks when the high holidays and the busiest times of synagogues takes place? I suspect less people will be going to services because of fear. But it's more than just fear. People have been losing the meaning of prayer. They're not connected the way they once were. They don't know how or why or what. They're not satisfied anymore by simply reciting by rote things they were taught when they were kids. They've become separated from the meaning of the liturgy. And it's never found in length of service. Now, there's certain keys to prayer, and we talk about them, especially during those holidays. Know how and what. If the words have no meaning to you, you're not going to be embracing them. So what does it take for you to reconnect them? What did they mean in ages past? What do they mean today? What could they mean tomorrow? What do the actual words mean? Do you even know? Do you connect to the tune, to the stories? What do you need for you to know the what and the how? And of course, a big part of the how is to learn to do things at your own speed and at your own pace. Most services do not allow for that. Find your own connection. And these days, of course, it doesn't have to be in synagogue. You can now easily pray at home or in small groups, and the internet just makes it so available. The other thing I want you to think about is, what does it take for you to feel the meaning? Now, this goes back to the Kavanah we talk about weekly, the intention. The intention of you, the intention of prayer. What was and is the intention of that particular prayer? If you can find out and connect to it, it takes on a life for you. And life gives meaning. And now's the time to start to find that connection. It's like when we come together and gather as a community, a chavurah fellowship, we make a connection. So we accept all beliefs, we accept all forms of love, we express our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes, because that's what unites us all in this community house of spirit, Bet Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, any way at all, to gather and to share. And this one, of course, is from Psalm 133, and we use the Psalms for so many things. It's the Hine Matov, which means come together. Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. Now we support each other in this community. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space so that you can honor and converse with whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. And this is where it is. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill. Goodwill and intention are the roots of what you can control, of what you can correct. It's your intention that sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives, my friends. And it's goodwill, energy, light that we send to help heal whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewal is for everyone. Floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people, it's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world, the tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. And a part of the healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health, renewal, goodwill, for everyone. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. So let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. And special thoughts and prayers always for those in need of assistance, which is why you mostly hear this said as the prayer for the sick. But we pray for those who need prayer. We don't have to know them, because we want health, recovery, good life for everybody. Let's continue to send healing energy for the hostages still held. Hard to believe, almost 700 days, still in prison, still languishing. How many are actually still alive? Constantly forgotten by new events that take place in the news, new celebrations, new wars. Another week and not a word. Now God continues to bless the hostages, their families, those who love and support them. They will never be erased. They will never be canceled. We will never forget October 7th. Let's continue to pray for them, for the downtrodden everywhere, for those closer to us, for Leanne and Alana, for Laura, for Winston and Inura, for Charles and the Builder, for Luke and Jerry, for Gabby and Amin, for Carson, for Trevor and Jess, for Callie, the elf, for Sabrina and Dave, for Maria, for Pam, for Pinky, for Alana, for Fern and Johnny, for Kathleen, for Mina and Carla, for John and Maria, for Doria, for Gloria, for Connie and Ronnie, for Tally and Mayim, for Nina and Danny, for all of those suffering and in need. And let's never forget to include all the familiars of our lives, all our sacred animal friends everywhere, for everyone you know in need, for the whole world, and for the bee. We pray for those who need prayer. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, the goodwill and love that we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit. And spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Shabbat. Avotenu, Makor Chabracha, Limotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Yishaberach, let us all have our spirits renewed, because this is the great prayer for healing. We call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Yishaberach, may He who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. So let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now this week we're actually up to the 49th Parsha. There's only 53. Ki tetze, when you go. When you go where? When you go out to do battle. Now much of this reading is about women's rights. Male-female relationships. It's about sexual relations, about marriage, about divorce. There's even a part about who was allowed to be present as a representative of God, and we're reminded that they must be pure, like the sacrifices, and they're talking about the priest here. This reading emphasizes decency, as defined in that time. We may define it differently at various times throughout history, but here, decency emphasizes humanity, dignity, the underlying tenet of how we should relate to everyone and everything. You remember being taught the golden rule when you were young? Keep it in mind. Now, I've always been struck by the beginning of this section, Deuteronomy 21:11. When you go forth to war, And you see among the captives a woman of comely features, and you desire to take her to be your wife. Now, there's a couple of interesting things about this. The first is the phrase, comely features. It's a very interesting one. It's the same appellation attached to Joseph in Genesis 39 when the captive Hebrew becomes the object of his Egyptian mistress's lustful gaze. And as we know, words that are the same connect things. In this case, you see someone and you are smitten. I've just seen a face. I can't forget the time or place we just met. She is just the girl for me. I want all the world to see we've met. Na, 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 na. Now, throughout the ancient Mediterranean world, captive women of vanquished people were assumed to be the due sexual prerogative of the victors. And going back to the references we made to the Iliad, and I'm sure you've all read it, and most of you will remember the taking of Briseis by Agamemnon from Achilles at the very beginning of the Iliad is what began the cascade of anger, resentment, and conflict that the rest of the book is about. Now, perhaps this attitude has permeated through time until recently. Anyhow, this law now exceptionally seeks to provide for the human rights of the woman who falls into this particular predicament. The warrior sees her, he's smitten, he's in love. He wants her as his wife. And so there's certain stipulations. He can't treat her like a slave to be sold. He cannot receive money for her from anyone else. And you're going to notice the words for degrading her and for letting her go are the same words used to describe the Egyptians' degrading of Israel and then letting Israel go in Exodus. The rights associated with these women captives was extraordinary. Now, it does say you want her as a wife, and that might be why the rights are stronger. But she's to be given time to mourn the loss of her family. She could never be sold. She has all the rights of a wife and is governed by all the laws of marriage and divorce, some of which are actually in this reading here. So many roads, so much at stake. So many dead ends, I'm at the edge of the lake. Sometimes I wonder what it's going to take to find dignity. Israel learns from its experience of enslavement. Israel not only celebrates its own release, but it learns to have compassion for others as well. I'm often asked about, how can people who were just freed from slavery have slaves? Different time. And in the midst of these wonderful reminders about decency and kindness, because it's all about treatment, is the reminder of the law of succession and the law of inheritance. And we're told it must not be altered by favoritism. Deuteronomy 21:15. When a man will have two wives, one loved, one hated, and they'll give birth to children for him, the loved and the hated will have the firstborn son. Then it will be on the day that he gives what he has as a legacy to his children. He shall not be able to give a son of the loved one the birthright before the firstborn son of the hated one. He shall recognize the firstborn son of the hated one, to give him a double portion of all that he has, because he is the beginning of his might. The legal due of the firstborn is his. It's really quite ironic to read this, because Jacob does in fact take away the double portion from Reuben, who was his firstborn, who is the son of the less loved wife Leah, and he gives it to Joseph, the son of the much more loved wife Rachel. In fact, every single patriarch broke this very law. Was this a do as I say, not as I do? And we come across a word that is actually still used to this day. The word is mumser, and we just simply translate it as bastard. Deuteronomy 23:3. A bastard shall not come into the Lord's community, even in the 10th generation. One shall not come into the God's community. Now, the definition of bastard, the biblical man, is not our definition. Child out of wedlock. No. The biblical definition was specifically someone born from one of the forbidden sexual relationships that are listed. And that's why it carries to the 10th generation. That's an awfully long time. That's how strongly their moral code extended into behavior. Our moral code's not the same. Things have changed. Dogma becomes dominant. And one thing that might have changed, but needs to change back, is our obligation to care for everyone, for all others. Deuteronomy 22:1. You shall not see your brother's ox or his sheep slipping away and ignore them. You shall surely return them to your brother. And if your brother's not close to you, and you do not know who he may be, you shall gather it into your house, and it shall be with you until your brother inquires for it, and you return it to him. Do not turn a blind eye to what you see. We're to care for all others, whether we know them or not. As brothers, because we are all brothers, and it doesn't mean you're like family brother. It means the brotherhood of man in this case. I heard easy. I just don't show it. You can hurt someone, not even know it. Next 60 seconds could be like an eternity. Gonna get low down, gonna fly high, tell the truth in the world adds up to one big lie. I'm in love with a woman who doesn't even appeal to me. Mr. Jinx, Miss Lucy, jumped in the lake. I'm not that eager to make a mistake. People are crazy. Times are strange. We're locked in tight. And I'm out of range. I used to care. But things have changed. Things have changed. But we have to go back to caring. You would want somebody to do so for you, so you should do for others. And it's not just people. Deuteronomy 22:6 has this really strange thing in it. It says, when a bird's nest will happen to be in front of you on the road, in any tree or on the ground, chicks or eggs, and the mother is sitting over the chicks or over the eggs, you shall not take the mother along with the children. You shall let the mother go. You may take the children for you, so that it will be good for you, and you will extend days. This is simply saying, if you're hungry and you need the eggs, you can take the eggs, but you can't take the mother. The mother can have more chicks. Otherwise, you're destroying and wiping out an entire family. This is a reading that is filled with moral behavior, centered around the rules of decency. To slave or freeborn, to rich or poor, to indigent, widow or orphan, to native or alien, it is the same for all. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light. All who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. An end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together. We celebrate with each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. Please do learn to forgive. Learn to love. These are key things coming up in the next few weeks, including yourself. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life and tell those you love that you love them. Otherwise, they'll never know. They can guess, but they'll never know. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything's linked. You always have time to forgive and be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad, so acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. But always do so with sincerity, with accountability, with vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you, as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate in life, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, peace, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. Keep on dreaming, my friends. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love, because it's always in front of you. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart and quiet your mind, because the deepest source of your real power lies in your consciousness, in your ability to be mindful, which simply means to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Love with the heart, all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief and what they mean to you. Never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, we help each other, because we're each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them and tell them what they mean. You're never alone on your journey. Listen to the voice of God as He talks to you, and He's talking to you all the time. And remember your connection to God and all that's been created in body and soul and spirit and mind. It's just a part of you. It's a part of me. It's a part of all of us, because we're all connected. So just listen to the voice of God and enjoy the journey that you're on. We're all on the road in the wilderness, and things we see are the things that everybody sees. The things we go through are the things that everybody goes through. And even though we have a lot of difficult times, we're all connected. And the interconnectedness of all and the reality says to us, we're all forever blessed, because we're all on the same journey. We're all trying to find our way back. What happened to us, we can return. We can recognize the commonality. We're all part of the great heart. One more night. The stars are in sight, but tonight I'm as lonesome as can be. Oh, the moon is shining bright, lighting everything in sight. But tonight, no light will shine on me. The light shines on and in all of you, my friends. Thank you for joining me. Shabbat Shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.